Hey traders, welcome back to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. As always, I am your host, Akil Stokes, and thank you for taking some time out of your day to listen to my words of wisdom. If you guys are brand new, I am a trading coach and a trader over at tier1trading.com, and this is a podcast that I produce each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sharing with you my trading journey as not only a professional trader, but a trading coach as well. I guess you can add real estate investor, entrepreneur, and motivational speaker. I don't know. Anyway, in today's podcast, we're going to talk about what I have planned going forward and how I plan to balance helping others with their trading journey as well as continuing to progress in my own. And I hope you guys enjoy. So I just wrapped up what I like to call Hell Week, and Hell Week is something that happens annually, so every year around this time, late April, early May, where I have an extremely busy stretch where I'm just working a lot and sleeping a little. Just to give you guys an example, for the last 3 days or so, I've worked about 50 hours straight. So, you think about there's 72 hours, right, in a 3-day period. I've worked about 3/4 of that time or 2/3 of that time, I guess you can say. And it's necessary, so I'm not complaining about it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't want to do it, if I didn't enjoy doing it in a way. But it marks a time where kind of after I get through that threshold, I know that it's going to be clear sailing very, very soon. And I have time to relax, or at least do my version of relax. And my version of relaxing is having time to work on myself. And I got the idea for this podcast from a question on the Twitter, which asked me, Akil, when do you find time and what do you do to continue working on your trading? As you guys know, I'm a trading coach, so I spend a majority of my time helping other traders become independent, consistently profitable traders. And that leaves very little time to work on my trading personally. And that's something that I've debated over the years. I've fought it. For you guys that don't know my backstory, obviously go back to the first podcast episode where I kind of walked you through my journey of how I got to where I am now before continuing along that journey with you guys. But I started as a trader, after a few years of struggling and whatnot. I started by quitting 3 jobs and committing full time. It's one of those things where I took a leap of faith. I jumped off a cliff and hoped that I'd be able to build a parachute before I hit the ground. One of those type deals. And I say that because I had all the time in the world. I literally had 24 hours, maybe take away 6 hours or so for sleeping, but I had entire days to focus fully on my trading. And trading is a skill. And like any skill, the more you work on it, the better you will become. The better you become and the quicker you will train that skill, right? Think about a basketball player, for example, someone that's trying to learn how to dribble with their left hand. The assuming it's all equal with like genetics and ability, right? Everyone's kind of different in how quickly they pick up things. But all else equal, the person that is outside practicing dribbling with their left hand for 2 hours is going to learn at a quicker rate than the person that goes outside for 10 minutes, right? So the more you work on something, the better you get. So when I first got into trading, I had all the time in the world to work on it. And I acquired the skill pretty quickly. Now, psychologically, I had a lot to work on, but I didn't know about the importance of trading psychology back then. I just thought, learn how to read a chart, become a millionaire in 2 months, the things that they tell you on the internet. But as I got better with trading, and obviously as I got more into the coaching, the time that I had to work on my own trading kind of suffered. I'm focusing a massive amount of time on making sure I continue to be consistently profitable. So making sure I'm able to analyze the market, review what I'm doing in my own trading, make sure I'm able to adapt as the market adapts. That's something that I learned on the fly. I first assumed that whatever strategy you're trading, right, it will work forever. And that's not the case. Market conditions change. Again, I started back in 2007, really, with Forex in 2009. And there was a big difference in the economy and in the world, in the 2009 era, which is the big US recession pre-Brexit, and where we are today in 2018. And it's very important that you keep track of your trading, that you analyze your trading, and you're able to adapt what you're doing with the changing markets. That's the only way to survive long term. If you think that what you're doing is going to work the exact same way, you're probably going to suffer a little bit. Doesn't mean you're going to fail, but you're probably going to suffer a little bit if you're that rigid. So it's very interesting, and it's a flexibility that I've adapted over the years. But between doing that and working with other traders, obviously, which takes up a massive amount of time, I rarely have time to work on myself. In fact, there are only 2 periods of the year where I get to work on myself. One is the summer, and that's a period when my schedule typically slows down a little bit. I have a lot more free time if I'm not doing other projects. And the winter, that period between basically mid-December until about mid-January or whenever we kick off the new year. And in the past, I would take that December period not only to review my trading, but to work on something new. I would pick out one thing I want to work on, whether it's an old inside bar strategy that I want to use. This past year, it was some indicator stuff with the stochastics and some classic day trading systems. But I would typically, or not this past year, the year before that, I should say, but typically I try to pick one thing. I try to focus, hyper-focus a lot of my time, focus on that one thing, and hopefully have something that I can implement in my trading to keep evolving. And I didn't have the chance to do that this year. This year was a little bit different. As you guys know, we were previously with a different company doing trading education. And, well, we decided to open up our own company this year. And we kind of went through a crash course in not only developing a company from scratch and developing a website, but we had to develop a whole new curriculum. Right? A whole new trading education, a whole new set of training courses, a whole new set of just different ways that we're going to deliver content and work with traders, I should say. And that took up the bulk of that time. So this year, I really had no time to work on my own trading. And now that we've gotten past Hell Week, I'm starting to think about, what do I want to do? And I've got travel again this week. I'm going to be out of town starting Wednesday for about a 4-day stretch. And I love the chance to travel, whether it's bus, whether it's train, whether it's plane. I like it because it's I feel like it's when I'm at my best. It gives me a chance to focus. I'm away from my computer, or at least my home computer. I'm away from any other temptations of stuff that I want to do. And I have nothing better to do but to focus on achieving a goal that I want to achieve. And I know this year, the difference with the training courses that we've been doing is, instead of just having a set training course, something that is, boom, set in stone, take it, blah, 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 we're kind of really just offering traders a chance to grow with us. It's like a living, breathing organism where, yes, we had about 5 training courses to kick off the year, but as we go on these different journeys of creating new content or just, working with content that our traders want to develop into a strategy, we're continuing to add elements to our training. And believe it or not, that's a very perfect excuse for me to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Because something that I always want to dig into deeper was the RSI indicator. That's the only indicator I use. I like the stochastics as well. And really the idea of what I'm going to use comes from a stochastics trading system. But it gives me something that I dug into a few years ago. I call it the RSI swap, or the stochastic swap. Basically when a move from one extreme to the other extreme in a trending situation. It was something that I was able to implement in my trading 2 years ago, but I didn't have a chance to dig into it as deeply as I wanted to. I really thought it could be something that could be bigger, right? I use it with my price action trading, but I also thought it could be something that could be automated, something for system traders out there that they can program and maybe create a level 2 system that runs in the background for them. And again, it's right now it's a big question mark. I never had time to dig into it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take that time on the road. I'm going to lay down the foundation and kind of redo my research, right? Get a fresh take on it and kind of figure out, maybe not even figure out what I want to do with it yet, just acquire knowledge. And then over the summer, take some time to put that knowledge together in a teachable format and hopefully create something that can not only provide benefit and provide more content to the traders that I work with, but also give me something that I can add to my my toolbox, I guess you can say, of trading tactics and trading techniques. So again, if I can ever kill two birds with one stone, that's a big plus. But it is important, guys, to work on your trading. Again, it's for you guys that are going to go into maybe money management, for you guys that are going to go into education. I know a lot of you guys are thinking about that. Understand that there's going to be a sacrifice. Something is going to take a hit. It could be relationships. It could be physical fitness. It could be your own trading. But whenever you add an element to an already busy schedule, right? We only have that set amount of time per day. Something is going to have to be sacrificed, and you just got to put a lot of thought into it before you decide what it is, and really plan out how you want to manage things. And if you can ever put yourself in a position where you can kind of combine two elements, again, combine working on your own trading and creating content for others at the same time, try and do that. And that's just how to be as efficient as possible. You know, it's something that I've learned from the business side of trading and the business side of coaching, I guess you can say, is learn to be efficient with your time. Learn to be efficient with your time. Multitask, even though I don't really believe in multitasking, but quote unquote, multitask when you can, and you know, just be a well-oiled, consistent machine. So more of just an update of what I'm doing. Again, it's just a chance for me to reflect. Today was the first day that I've had in my own house for the majority of the day in a while. So I'm just sitting back and kind of pre-planning my week and pre-planning really my summer, and just wanted to share it with you guys since I've been taking you through this journey with me. Having balance is extremely important, and although we may not stay perfectly balanced at all times, as long as we stop the scales from tipping too far in one direction or the other, we should be able to find success. We should be able to keep progressing forward in our journeys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button. Please share it with another trader. Leave me a rating, leave me a review. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. That way you don't miss the next episode of the Trading Coach Podcast.